Okay, the Global Economics Program is going to focus, in terms of a common theme, focusing on the spillovers that are created by policies that governments pursue. So really, what are the negative effects that are imposed on other countries? And the research kind of focuses on, one, identifying what those spillovers are, but more important, to really focus on how countries can cooperate with each other to try and reduce the negative impacts of what they do to each other. In terms of actual research projects, there's a number of areas in which we're going to be focusing on over the next few years. One is kind of drawing the lessons from what has been happening in the WTO over the last 10 years or so, with the difficulty of reaching agreements at the multilateral level, while at the same time governments all over the world are negotiating regional or bilateral or preferential arrangements with each other on economic types of issues. One theme that we're drawing, one of the implications of that dynamic that we're observing, is to focus research on what we're calling variable geometry. So in a sense, how can we help governments identify areas in which it makes sense to cooperate among smaller groups of countries, but how do you do that in a way that you're actually supporting multilateral cooperation? The second area of research pertains to global supply chains. And there the focus is very much on what are the policy implications of the fragmentation that has happened in terms of how goods are produced. A third area relates to services, trade and investment in services. And again, that relates to technological developments, the digitization of products, but also that most value added is actually kind of related to services. All of these areas are going to be pursued very much in partnership with others. So we see the EUI as very much a facilitator, as a hub, as a partner of institutions around the world who are working on these areas. And that's very much the business model that we're pursuing. One of the things that we want to do, and will be doing, is trying to bring the research to practitioners. And the best way of doing that is to bring the practitioners together. So the concept we're going to be using here is a mechanism to bring kind of key individuals from the business community, government officials, and people who are working in international organizations in terms of giving policy advice and implementing projects, bring them all together to actually focusing on specific issues that we've done research on, which is largely going to be of a regulatory nature, to try and get them to actually engaged on a particular topic that is of interest to everyone, where we can draw on the research, but where people can also learn from each other in an environment which is not a negotiating environment, which is very much kind of an open exchange of views on the basis of Chatham House rules, so nothing is for attribution. And we'll be doing a series of these over time, in conjunction and in cooperation with those people, so that they can actually identify what is of interest to them.